So I am Tan Chooi Lye. I'm Tan Chooi Lye. I was born in southern Canada. I lived there, and I came to Penang to study when I was 6 years old. Went into the Anglo-Chinese school, starting from in 1936. From the beginning of the primary school, 1936 to 1941, and going to the secondary school, 1945 to 1949. My education was interrupted by the Second World War, and I missed education for 3.5 years. That was why there was a break between 1941 and 1945. So 1941, we was in Standard 4. At that time, the school graded the primary as I let you know, primary 1, primary 2, standard 1, standard 2, standard 3, standard 4. Now they grade this way: standard 1, standard 2, standard 3, standard 4, standard 5, standard 6. So when I was in 1941, when I was in standard 4A, it was in fact standard 6. It was in fact standard 6. So after the Second World War, I went back. I came back to Penang late 1945 to continue my study, and studied until the 49, and I was graduated in ACS, now MBS in Penang. How was you recruited to join the BB? I went back to school in late 1945. I think in school, probably there was an announcement about the Boys Brigade in early 1945. My cousin was there when I went back to school, so I get to know about it. First, I get to know from my cousin, and then I learned it from the school. So I went and joined the Boys Brigade in late 1945, when the first Penang Company was not registered yet. So that was, I would say, 1945. I came to know about it and then joined it, and continue to be there until the first Penang Company was registered in 1946. Not in a compound. I think I went to the Methodist school. I don't know, Chinese Methodist Church in Madras Lane, Penang. That was the first time I met there. How did you feel when you first joined the BB? Of course, I was happy to have more friends and activities. Because most of the members there were my classmates and schoolmates. So I could meet them there and have the BB activities with them. What was the first activities? First activities was when the company was registered. That was an enrollment service. We just went to the church there. We met there, and then we went into the church for the service. We were not in full uniform at the time yet. I can't remember for sure, but when we were in the white uniform, I don't remember we have any parade. I don't know. But in 1947, when we had our full uniform, yes, we had our parade on Saturdays. On Saturdays, we have drill, marching, and other activities. And on Sunday, we have our Bible class. Who is Mr. Gehan King to you? Mr. Gehan King, He was my teacher. He was my teacher. He was my class class in charge teacher when I was studying in that school in 1941 in Standard 4A. He was my class in charge teacher, form teacher. They call it form teacher. Yeah. And when I was a student, he was my teacher. When I was teaching in the MBA, at the time it's MBS, ACS, still ACS, I think. He was my headmaster. Yeah.
When you were teaching at the time?
He was my headmaster. And he was my BB captain in the first Penang Company. And he was Bible class teacher. After the Second World War, there was when in 1945, when I went back to school, he was already the headmaster of the second primary school. What kind of a person is Mr. Gay Hang Keng? Yeah. To me, Mr. Hang Keng was a devoted Christian. That's how I saw him from the time when I was a student in 1941. Although I hastily knew about him, but later on, after the World War, when I know him more, I knew that he was a devoted Christian and also caring teacher. He was caring for the students' welfare. That's how I see about him. He was a good teacher, and a good headmaster to me, and a good captain to me in the Boys Brigade, and a self-respectful man. That's how I see in him. I wouldn't say that he was a strict person. He was, from what I see, he held himself upright and very, sometimes can be firm. Yeah, it's not very strict. It's firm. I could get things done. We at the time when he was captain, we respected him. Yeah, and whatever he wanted things to be done, it was done. That's what I remember. Although I was still small at the time, not very small, but still, I can remember that. Yeah. How does it feel being part of the member in the first enrollment? Oh, yes. Of course, in the first enrollment, I was happy and proud to be in uniform. Although it was in a white uniform, I was proud with many officers and BB boys in a church service. That was the first time. As a BB, I was in the church service for the enrollment service of the Boys Brigade uniform. Looking at the photograph from the left, from the right, the fourth person sitting on the ground, just above the word Penang. Why was the uniform white? It's because when the company was formed, then the company made an order for the equipment from London. The haversack, the belt, and they ordered the equipment, and also we have a tailor to prepare the blue uniform for us. And at the time when we have this photograph taken, all the equipments and navy blue uniform was not available yet. That was why we have this white uniform. And I think most probably it was in a white uniform that we had the first enrollment service, because in 1946 November, immediately after the the company was received the information that the company was registered. Then his photograph was taken. How many members were there in the first year? The first year is, I think it is 1946. There were 55 boys. 45 boys, 11 officers, with the captain and chaplain. Altogether 58 persons. 45 boys, 11 officers, captain and chaplain.
Your parents supportive of you going to this BB or not?
Oh yes, my parents, yes. My parents was in Canada. I was living with my cousin, my aunt,
in Penang.
and my cousins in Penang. So they have no objection. We did. This is the first uniform company, and it's from the church. So no objection. My mother, my parents had no objection at all. When I became a Christian, I became a Christian in 1948 in Easter.
On Easter.
In Easter, 1948. At that time, we were in the church ground in Wesley Church. I was here in the Wesley Church. It's a very short one. My close friend was there and asked me, hey, shall we get baptized and be a Christian? So I said, okay. So we decided, and then we told the pastor, our pastor about it. We told the pastor about it. And the pastor was, I think,
which one? Pastor
Reverend Ranian.
Oh, Reverend Ranian.
I think it was Reverend Ranian was the pastor at that time. So
what year was that?
1948.
1948.
Yeah, 1948. In 1952, I was a lieutenant in the 2nd Penang Company. When the 2nd Penang Company was formed in 1952, I was invited to go over from the 1st Penang Company into 2nd Penang Company as a lieutenant. So I was a lieutenant there in 1952. And a year when Mr. Paul Juby was the founder of the 2nd Penang Company. And Mr. Paul Juby had to be transferred because of his work to another other state in Penang. So I took over the captainship in 1953. So I was there as a captain from 1953 to 1960.
As an officer, do you still keep in touch with your members now?
It was many years ago when I was a captain. No, except a few, like one of the boys is still, and he's a member of the Wesley Methodist Church now, and I am also a member there. He's still there. I keep in touch with him, and his name is Chu Kian Hin. He was a boy, I remember, he was a bugler.
He was young.
Yeah. The others I've not kept in touch because some of them passed away, some of them no more in Penang. And the first national movement, I don't quite know about it. When the first national body, they call it PB Malaysia, I think, when Mr. Ge Hang Keng was the president. See, I was a treasurer there. That was about in 19 something, 57 or something, I can't remember. I don't have the record with me here. Yeah, that was the one I know. But earlier than that, when this first started, I was It's only when Mr. Tan King was a president, so I was invited. I became a treasurer there, and I used to travel to Kuala Lumpur to attend meetings with him, with Mr. Han King, driving driving us, two of us, 3 of us, myself, Mr. Tan Teck Hock, who was the secretary, and Ko Gim Teck, the council officer. The Boys Brigade is a good organization for boys uh, uh, that if they become members, they, they would get good training to be disciplined, following the objective of the Boys Brigade. Yeah. they, they should have, they should be very vibrant, have discipline, obedience, and self-respect. This is all the things. And the training was good to train them to hold up themselves high and to get things done, set passé in the proper way, in the right way. Because from experience, I know that Boys Brigade is good place for training of boys at the age of 12 to 19. At that age, what the boys are normally quite rebellious. That's what I know. So I would tell the officers also to set a good example to the boys as far as honesty is concerned, and to be humble and to carry out the work in the right way. And this is what I would advise the officers. During my time when I was the captain, when I stepped over in 1952, to the second Penang Company and became a captain. Yeah, it was a big responsibility for me because I was already a sergeant in the first Penang Company, and when I became a captain, I have to find ways and means to keep the Boys Brigade Company running well, and so I had to do a lot of self-taught things, to learn out many things, to teach the boys, provide the boys with to these officers. They must provide the boys with activities, whole classes for them, for the award classes, to keep them active and to keep them occupied. I believe that if there are no activities in the Boys Brigade, the boys will not be interested. Okay. And also to keep the boys proud and to hold themselves up proudly and to do things orderly. The discipline must be there. That is a thing that the officers should do to set the example. That uniform must be properly worn, to keep them tidy, to keep them neat and tidy, so that they will look respectable. This is what I would say to the officers and to the boys.